Let's start today's session. We're going to discuss about 1 week left to CLAT. You might ask me, sir, still we have a couple of days more. Okay, so my calculation is today is Friday. So Friday to Friday. Okay, because Saturday I think you need to take a break and relax, chill and relax. Okay, so Friday to Friday, 7 days a week. Okay, that's what I'm speaking about here. Okay, so we have a week left to this exam, the preparation that we can do as much as possible. In this 1 week. Okay, that's what I'm going to talk about. Okay, in this session. And meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you can please drop it in the chat. Okay, so I'll answer answer those questions which you drop in the chat at the end. Okay, so there were a few questions which students sent me personally, so I have those questions as well with me. So I circulated a message with all of your people recently. If there is any doubt, if there are any doubts you have, okay, so send it to me via mail or WhatsApp. So I got some questions as well. So I just copy pasted those questions in the last slide of this presentation. Okay, so at the end of the session, we can discuss about those questions. I'll be answering those questions. Okay, and apart from that, if you have any doubts also, please drop it in the chat. We can discuss at the end of the session. Okay, so let me take you through, what we are going to do today. Fine. This 1 week to CLAT. So we are going to primarily focus on the do's and don'ts, let's say, do's and don'ts. Okay, that's the primary thing. And, the significant thing I would say would be how our mindset to be, how we should be, okay, both focused and positive. Okay, fine. So that is going to be, a significant factor. Okay, so this is what we're going to discuss with the various elements and various factors put together in today's session. Okay, so let's start with a question as usual, right? I start the strategy sessions with a question. So even today, I'll start with the question. Do you know what exactly you're going to get in the exam? Do you know exactly what you're going to get in the exam? Yes, sir. Now ask this question to yourself. Do you know exactly what is going to happen in the exam, in the class? Yes, sir. No. Yes, you don't. Okay. Because no one can say yes to this question unless and otherwise you are the question paper setter. Right. So, which means typically we don't know, okay, what exactly is going to happen. Okay. So, in the exam. So, what we should not do is keep worrying about what is going to happen in the exam day. What if that happens? What if this happens? Okay, during that day, fine. So we will not be concerned or worried about that right now. We need to focus much on what what we know. Yes, months and months we have been working hard on preparing for this exam, right? So you have taken multiple mock tests, right? So you'd have experimented many techniques or many approaches, many strategies in the mock test. Okay, in a few mocks you would have attempted, legal, giving more time to it, more importance to it. In a particular mock test, you would have, gone through logical reasoning, okay, without leaving anything. So each and every mock, you experimented something. So you came to know something about yourself, how you're approaching in that particular test, right? Then let's take, for example, current affairs. You have read, multiple events, news, okay, in the month of October, let's say, in the month of September, August. Okay, so see, that is what you know, right? So you need to focus. Okay, you need to be focused. Okay, especially in these kind of things that we know that we have access to. Okay, fine. So we need not, or we should not worry about what is going to happen on the day. Okay, the ultimate question is, are we prepared? Yes, with months and months, yes, we are prepared. Then on the day, what is what are we going to face? Yeah, something fresh. Okay, don't relate the day of the exam with the past experiments that you did or past scores that you got in your mocks. Okay, so you can't do that. Fine. So I know if I keep on telling you this in each and every strategy class, okay, you might again think that okay, sir is going to say this. Fine. So that's why I told for a few people I'm going to call this person today, okay, for helping me out. Okay. So I want everybody to listen. Fine. So listen to what Dhoni says. And I have been observing, in most of the interviews, okay, Dhoni says particularly this. Okay, fine.
Don't think about the result. It's a result that puts pressure on us. What if this happens? What if we don't win the game? What if we don't get selected? But again, worry about the controllables, and whatever the controllables are, we take care of it, we'll get the desired result. If we don't get the desired result, we'll improve. We'll change our plans, we'll execute better, and we'll get a chance to prove ourselves again. So, that's what it is. Thinking about the result never gives you result. Yes, you may have a target in mind, but what is more important is to take care of the small steps in life, what needs to be done, what I am supposed to do, what extra I can do, and that will help us achieve the target.
Okay, so there are many interviews given by MS Dhoni, and he has given a lot of statements and facts like this. Okay, which he experimented in real time. Okay, but this was more suitable. Okay, this was more suitable, for our preparation strategy as well, right? Okay, so we need to focus much, in the process. Okay, we need to focus much in the process rather than thinking about what is going to happen at the end, thinking about the result. Okay, so this is what will make us. This is what will make us, worried, anxious. Okay, do terrible things. Okay, fine, fine. Sorry, a few people came late, so they want to watch this once again. Okay, so no problem for me because these words are true. Okay, and you can hear it how many ever times you want. So I'll play it once again, but please be silent. Okay, and you can watch it there as well.
Don't think about the result. It's a result that puts pressure on us. What if this happens? What if we don't win the game? What if we don't get selected? But again, worry about the controllables, and whatever the controllables are, we take care of it, we'll get the desired result. If we don't get the desired result, we'll improve. We'll change our plans, we'll execute better, and we'll get a chance to prove ourselves again. So, that's what it is. Thinking about the result never gives you result. Yes, you may have a target in mind, but what is more important is to take care of the small steps in life, what needs to be done, what I am supposed to do, what extra I can do, and that will help us achieve the target.
Okay, fine. So you need to be concerned about what is going to happen on the day. Okay, during the exam. We don't have anything in our hands right now to decide on that. Okay, fine. But what we can do, as we discussed, okay, so we have taken so many mock tests. Okay, what are the learnings that we can get from that? Okay, there were previous year questions. So what can we observe from the previous year questions? Okay, fine. So these are the, maybe controllables that we must think about when it comes to, the exam point of view. Okay, fine. So if I keep on telling you the same thing, okay, so I wanted someone to also tell it to you. Okay, so that's why I called Dhoni. Okay, I got the help from Dhoni. Okay, so again, as I told you, this is more relevant to us. Fine. There were many interviews, many statements made by him, but this is more relevant to what we need right now. Okay, that's why I took this particular quote from him. Okay, and the next important thing is we need to stop something immediately, which is stop listening to various sources. Okay, so what happens during this last minute, okay, or the last couple of days, fine. So there will be many people spreading many things rumorly. Bacha, you need to do that. You need to do this. Students, you need to do this, you need to do that. Okay, this topic, there will definitely come. Okay, no one can do that. No one can say that. Fine. So everything will be uncertain when we take an exam like CLAT. So no one can say you will definitely get a passage relevant to Israel-Palestine war. Okay, fine. So no one can say that there is going to be a definite passage in current affairs relevant to G20. Okay, so that's why. So what happens is when we hear to such things, okay, so we get carried away. Oh my God, I did not even go through this news. So am I going wrong? Did I prepare well? So you start to question yourself. Okay, and again, what happens is they also deliver their own strategies. Okay, fine. From their observations, with their pool of students, okay, maybe that strategy would work. Okay, but you need to believe or trust in someone who looks, you each and every day and looking you for a long time. Okay, and so you need to stick to something like that. Okay, so here on, so you would have seen me earlier telling here from various sources and get to know about many things. But right now is the time that we need to stop. Okay, fine. So the last couple of days we should stop, hearing from many. Okay, and be focused on only a couple of things, not more than that. Okay, so that's the significant point. Okay, so almost everything that we are going to discuss today is going to be more important. Let me come to the next one next. Yes. Yeah. Mock scores. Yes. Mock scores. Let's go to that mock scores. Okay. So many would tell even now if I ask you a mock scores, sure, my score is this. Okay, my score is that. Fine. My score is 60 right now, 70 right now, 80 right now, 90 right now. Okay, 100 right now. So okay, fine. So what can I do to improve it? How can I make my 60 to go to 80? How can I make my 70 to go 90? How can I make my 100 to go to 110? Okay, fine. So even 120, yes. Yeah. So fine. So now, with only a few days left, okay, fine. So what should we be concerned about? Really, do we have to look at the mock scores? We need to understand a few things here. Okay, what exactly is the reason mock tests are given for you? Is how can that be done? Okay, how can a mock test can be used as a tool to mock you? Okay, so a mock test is basically a tool, okay, which will help you to understand yourself better in this, exam environment. Okay, fine. So the mock test is just a preparation tool that we are using. Okay, so using the mock test, what we can understand, we can assess ourselves how our time management skills are. Are we able to attain almost all the questions, or only 100 questions, or only half of the questions? Okay, how much is our reading speed? Are we good enough? Okay, so to assess that, assess what else, what have I prepared so far, what have not prepared so far. Okay, especially you can judge that with this current affairs section and the math section, quantitative technique section, right? Okay, so what we have learned and what we haven't learned. Okay, so that you can assess easily. Fine. This is exactly why the mocks are for. Okay, and the different strategies that you used, right? Okay, so to do experiments, you can't do these experiments directly in the examination. Okay, so with which section can I start? Okay, so how is my, if I start the examination with the legal reasoning, how am I getting carried away throughout the exam? Am I losing time? Okay, or I'm able to manage time. So these kind of things you have done with, so many mocks, you have taken multiple number of mocks you have taken so far, right? So to experiment with all these different strategies only, yeah. So you have used these mocks. So we have to look at this mock test as again what only a preparation tool that guided us so far. Maybe you will have like 2 to 3 more mocks. So that is also going to be the same. And you can't decide by having, such tools deciding who you are and how much mark you get. Okay, fine. So we have literally seen students each and every year who was getting 60 to 70 mock test. Okay, well, they were able to get more than 90 to 100, okay, out of 150, but okay, fine. And see, at the same time, the people who are getting 90 to 100, okay, so their marks also went down, okay, to 30 to 40. Fine. So there are a few factors that we should keep in our mind. Okay. So how to keep ourselves calm during, the war. Okay. While we write the exam. Okay. And, the managing OMR sheet. Okay. When to fill the OMR sheet. Okay. And not to mess anything with the OMR sheet. Fine. So sometimes keeping the OMR to the last and doing it, filling it quickly. The time is running out. Okay. What happens is if you miss one question, okay, yeah, while shading, if you miss one thing and go to the next question and start marking it, and only you will know when you fill the 119th question, something is missing in 120. What happened? Only then you'll come to know. Now, the entire thing is gone. Okay, only if the invigilator is so good, they can give you one more OMR sheet, and they can ask you to fill your answers. But again, it requires a 10 minutes, solid 10 minutes of time more to fill all 120 questions. Fine. So we need to avoid that as well. So because of these kind of things, the marks can also go down. And one more thing is being overconfident. Okay, I have made up to, like 70, 80 questions. There are only 40 to 50 questions more. So what I'll do, okay, I'll go randomly and answer some questions. Even some negative marks are coming. It's okay, but I have a very good chance of getting first 2 marks as well. So that kind of blind, attempting of questions is being done. At that time also, there's a big chance, okay, of many questions going wrong and your mark significantly goes down. Okay, so there are both extremes happening. Okay, fine. So whom are we going to be? We need to decide. Okay, fine. So I need everybody to understand that mock scores are not your final scores. Okay, they are just making you understand. You need to invest more time in your preparation, more time in your revision. Okay, fine. So you need to spend more time for CLAT preparation. That's the only thing. Maximize your preparation time. That is what we can, take as a reflection directly from our mock test scores. Okay, fine. So come to the next point. What is good score? We have discussed too many times about scores already in our 2 months to CLAT, 1 month to CLAT, all these strategy sessions. Okay, so we have some decent idea about what is the score required, right? Okay, we have some decent idea about what is the score required. Many would have told you. Maybe you would have listened to multiple sources as well, apart from me. Okay, fine. So that is also fine. It's okay, fine. So you got some idea what is needed. Okay, but what we need to focus to reach this good score right now. Try and attempt as much as possible. Let's try and attempt as much as possible, but at the same time, we should have one thing in our mind: accuracy. Okay, fine. So we are trying and attending as much as possible means not randomly giving answers. Okay, fine. So we have to be careful enough to choose our answers as well. Okay, only with a clear understanding of what is given in the passage and the questions, we should be able to choose the answers in a right way, right? So we have to keep a track of our accuracy as well. Okay, we should not get misled by option. We should not fall in the trap of where 2 options are similar. We have to be careful enough there. Okay, and choose our options wisely. Fine. And let's target 100 plus. See, I have left blank 100 plus. It depends. That's what 100 plus of what? If you ask me, for the people who are already getting like 80s and 90s or more than 75, let's say more than 75, if you're able to make it 75 plus in your scores, okay, then 100 plus can be a target of scores for you. Okay, fine. Same time, if your attempts are 75 plus and 80 plus, okay, then your target of attempt should be 100 plus. Okay, 100 plus with a very good accuracy, you should be able to get around 80 plus. That's a very good accuracy I'm telling you. Okay. I'll tell you. So very good question. So how can I improve this accuracy in the last minute? You have a lot of learnings with you. The only thing is you are not ready to follow it. Okay, fine. Okay, how many of you, even now I'm asking you, how many of you have taken your previous marks and clearly understood what happened to you, okay, throughout the process? Done. You've done many. You've done many marks. Yeah. So if you are analyzing your marks, okay, and if you have understood what kind of behavior, okay, you happy to do in each and every mock you have taken in recent times. I'm not talking about even the past. Let's take the recent 10 to 15 mocks you have taken in the last 2 to 3 months. Okay, the recent ones. What kind of behavior you had? Okay, so okay, I started with English. Okay, I started with English. Fine. So then I went to logical. Okay, so I got many questions wrong in logical because I went from English to logical. Okay, this is the learning that we are getting. Okay, right after legal reasoning, I got exhausted to read more passages. Then I went to math. I was not able to concentrate what is given because already I read so much and I got exhausted. I didn't go into math after legal reasoning. I need to solve more, think more. So again, I get exhausted. So I was not able to write the entire paper. So these are the learnings, behavioral learnings that you get to know from how you attempted the mocks. Okay, fine. So that's what I'm telling you. So when you read and analyze the mock papers, it's not just understanding why you went wrong, what you went wrong. Okay, so what is your behavior? How did you write the mock? Okay, how you approach the mock? That's what I was telling as the different strategies. So each and every mock you would have not approached in the same way, right? Different ways you would have taken the marks. Okay, with different approaches, you would have taken the marks and you would have understood, okay, this is my rights and this is my wrongs and this is how I should proceed. Okay, now that these are the learnings that we have to take. Now, when we go for the actual exam, so that is why we have this, 1 week of time to prep our mind. Okay, we have this 1 week of time to prep our mind. So what we should train our mind now to adapt to all the learnings that we got through all these mocks throughout, taking this 10 to 15 mock tests in the recent months. Okay, fine. So that's what we need to focus now. And that will ultimately lead to what? Accuracy. Fine. Because we are clearly understanding, okay, because of what I was not able to attempt so many questions, because of what I went wrong in many questions, because of what I got exhausted. Okay, so we are trying to understand all these things. And when we put all together on a single page and see, okay, that will ultimately help us at the end of the day. Okay, when we come to the D-Day, okay, so we put together and apply in one paper. Fine. Okay. So this is what right now we need to focus about. We not worry about the past. Okay, this is what I got in mark, this is what I got in mark. When you go to the exam and sit there, okay, you need to only think about that. Fine. So next, yeah, I think I already addressed this point. Let it be, repeating again. Nothing wrong in this. Okay, what is my test taking strategy? Okay, if you would say, sir, I've taken 30 marks, 40, I know what I should exactly do in the CLAT exam. Right now, I found my test taking strategy, and this is what I'm going to do exactly in the CLAT. Okay, yeah, is that right? Yes. I've taken so many marks. I've experimented many things. So I exactly know what I should do. Okay, when it comes to the CLAT day. Yeah. So December 3rd, after afternoon 2 o'clock, I'll go and sit. Okay, once I get the question paper, I'll take the OM. Start doing this. Because I know what to do. Fine. So if you are in this mindset, then that's wrong. Definitely it is wrong. Okay, fine. See, from the previous marks, you would have experimented many things, everything. It's true. Okay, fine. But without looking at the question paper, okay, which section is easy, which section is difficult, especially for you, okay, it depends. Something, some section, some passage, some question which is easy for me cannot be easy for you as well. It would differ from each and every individual based upon your comprehension skill, based upon your reading speed and everything. Right? This is the exam designed that way. No option is left to us. Right? So with all your observations, only during the exam, you can decide, okay, fine. So from my learnings, what am I going to do today? How am I going to spend this next 120 minutes left? Okay, with this paper, with each and every section, with each and every passage, with each and every question. Okay, so you need to decide on that particular day. Okay, so by looking at going through each and every section, then you should decide, okay, this is my strategy. Let me start from legal, so let me start from English. So go through the passage, go through the section once. Okay, this passage is relevant to the topic that I have learned somewhere. Okay, so I think this must be familiar to me. Let me start with that passage. Then let me proceed to the next one. Next one. So in section, you do not start with the very first passage. No one says that. Okay, there is no sectional timing. You have an entire 120 question there for you in the question booklet. Okay, for the 120 minutes of time. So no one says you need to start with this section. No one says you need to attempt all the questions in a particular section. No one says you have to go in the same order if you pick a particular section. So whichever you think will be easy for you, accordingly, you can change your approach in the exam. But the learnings, let's say, for example, the strategy that you learn to deal with inference type of questions should not change. The strategy that you learn to understand tone of the passage should not change. Okay, the test taking strategy differs, but how we approach to each and every question, that is not going to change. Fine, that is what I'm telling. So only during the exam, you will be able to decide what you are going to do. Fine, are you able to understand? Yeah, so the predefined thoughts, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I will do. Okay, even with strategy, it's not going to work out. Fine, that's my point. Let's continue. Well, let's come to each and every section. So let's start with reading. Okay, what are the things we need to remember, we need to do, okay, when it comes to this particular section, reading. So when I say reading, it's going to include what? The reading comprehensions, the legal reasoning, okay, and then the logical reasoning. Okay, so all these three sections together. So stick to the content, what is given in the passage. Don't use external knowledge. Don't use your own thoughts. Don't use your emotional quotient. Okay, so use only what is given in the passage. Let's say for English and logical reasoning at certain parts, for the questions like strengthening and weakening. Okay, yes, at that point of time, what we can do is we can get the help of some examples, evidences from outside that would support something in the passage. That is, yes, it's possible. You can find an option which says something else, okay, but still relevant to the passage, which adds, value to the passage. Then yes, that's strengthening. You can choose that as another option. Okay, fine. And similarly, you can also choose some options. Choose an option which uses extreme words, not extreme scenarios. Okay, so for strengthening and weakening, you can find options which are right with extreme words, but not extreme scenarios, extreme cases. Okay, but will this work for any other type of question like inference, assumptions, conclusions? No. No extreme words, no extreme cases. Okay, we need to stick only to what is given in the passage. As simple as that. So basically what we should do, keep it simple. Fine. So what we do is we think that, oh my God, this is CLAT. How can so many things be easy? What if the paper is easy? We very well know, okay, I have been repeating this again, I'll repeat it one more time, no issues. Okay, so what is the reason, okay, the consortium gave us to reduce the number of questions from 150 to 120, student friendly? What if the paper is easy? Fine, so you, with a lot of experience, with a lot of learnings, okay, you need to understand If it is easy for you, then it is easy for you. That's it. It depends, right? It depends, right? Yeah. So that's true. If the entire paper is easy for you, and maybe it's easy for everyone. Very true. But if you take a particular section and if you feel very, very particular passage and if you feel very, very easy, it depends, right? There are a few words in a particular passage that you know, but I still it can't be easy for both of us. But as a paper English as a section, it was easy for both. Yes. Okay, I scored 20 or 25 in English. You scored 20 or 25 in English, but we would have attempted different questions. At the end, 20 or 25. So as a paper, if it was easy for you, maybe it was easy for everyone. So that's the exception when it comes to reading. Fine. If in current affairs, if you have invested so much of time and prepared a lot, okay, and if it was still difficult for you, then it is obviously difficult for everyone. Okay, you know percentages, you know ratios, you know averages, you have prepared so much in math, you go and sit and read the question and understand the question, and you are not able to follow what is given there, you are not able to form a table or something, you feel that it is difficult after putting so much of efforts, and there will be more than 50% of people who are ready to skip this particular section called quant, and remaining only 40% will be trying to attend this section quant. Okay, with a lot of efforts put and time you have spent, you are reading the question in math and understanding it. And if you feel difficult, and for all those 40%, I'll say definitely it is difficult. But reading is an exception for that. Because there are various factors, especially if you take English and logical reasoning, right? Okay, what happens? There can be the use of vocabulary, okay, which is comfortable for you and not for many. Fine. And similarly, legal reasoning. We have seen many legal terms, legal scenarios, right? And think about the students who did not even prepare for CLAT. Okay, or they have been preparing only for the, like last 2 to 3 days, knowing that, okay, I have only a couple of days, so let me prepare for a couple of days and let me go and read. Okay, so these people will not have any idea about the legal terms, important terms, significant terms, which can be expected in the passages. Okay, or they would have not went through the legal reasoning passages, okay, or legal articles, let's say, legal reasoning articles relevant to important things. And you have gone through all these things. So when you look at that, it will be easy for you, but not for them. So it completely depends. Okay. So yeah, where were we? Yes, we were starting the first part when it comes to the reading section. We need to stick to what is given in the passage, especially when it is legal reasoning. We need to avoid external knowledge. Okay, the question will tempt you to use external knowledge. Oh my God, you are an Indian citizen. Yeah, think morally and decide which is the right answer. Don't do that. Don't do that. Forget about everything. Forget how a good, kind person you are. Okay, what is given in the passage? The passage, even if A murders, okay, he can pay a fine and get out. That's what is the answer. We need to blindly go with that. So, no usage of external knowledge, okay, especially in legal reasoning. Okay, we have to keep that in our mind. Let's go to the next one. Read it at your pace. Read it at your pace. Sir, what, sir? You are telling us to read as, attempt as much as possible, then read it at your pace. And so far, you have been telling that focus on reading speed, reading speed. So long you have been reading, right? Which means in the next 7 days, you are not going to drastically improve on your reading speed. Okay. So by now, how many ever passages you have solved, how much ever efforts you have taken. Okay, fine. So that has what? Improved you to the required pace that you want right now. In the next 7 days, this is not going to drastically change. Maybe it can improve slightly, but not so much. Which means you can go at your pace. Because along with reading, you need what else? Comprehension, understanding. That will lead to accuracy. Okay, so read at your pace, don't rush. We'll cover that in detail again. Okay, so use the marks that you have taken already and understand in each and every section. Okay, so what is happening to you in English? Okay, take the recent marks, 5 to 10 marks, take it and observe what are the types of questions that you are going wrong. Is it what can be inferred type of question, what cannot be inferred type of question, or finding a suitable title, or it can be like according to the author, which is true. Fine. So it could be any type of question. So observe what commonly, you know, uh, makes you to fall in the trap. Okay, and look at the options. What kind of options you fell for that trap? Fine. So based on that, learning in each and every section, you'll be able to overcome them, okay, during the exam. So that is the learning that you will get from the previously taken marks. And as we can see, reading is a section with how many questions we can expect? We can expect around 80 questions, right? So this is the place where we can maximize our attempts. Okay, I'm just telling you to maximize your attempts in order to attempt all the questions. Okay, please remember it is not mandatory for you to attempt all the questions, but we can maximize. Okay, we need to maximize our attempts here because ultimately we can see we have 80 questions. Okay, in this three sections covered together. Okay, reading comprehension, legal reasoning, and logical reasoning, which are purely based upon what? Reading, understanding, and answering the questions. Okay, so we need to use this section, as a tool for us to score well. Okay, and the remaining two sections are to boost our scores to beat the competition. Right. So this is about the reading section I just wanted to cover. Right. So let's move to the next one, JK. We need to accept facts. We need to accept facts. No one can remember everything. Similarly, you can't remember everything you have learned so far, you have prepared so far, especially when it comes to this section called GK and the current affairs. Okay. So whatever you went through so far, just recall, repeat the process. If you have something ready to be learned, okay, so I have planned, 7 more days are there. So I have planned to take up these topics and cover in the next 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Yes, okay. If you have planned something to do, if you have everything ready, yes, okay, invest time in that. But if you think that, sir, I'm done with current affairs, like 4 to 5 minutes, I'm already clear, and I need to expand, I need to go to more number of topics, okay, then you can stop. Whatever you know, you need to revise or you need to manage. Let's say in a day, I spend like 3 hours to revise the topics that I've learned so far. Okay, so I have learned around 500 topics. So I will learn like 50 topics, in 3 hours of time. I revise 50 topics in 3 hours of time. Okay, so I will take 1 hour more to cover something else from the past. Fine. So the time that we are left with, okay, what we should focus more is to remember what we have learned so far. So revise and recall will especially be the key for GK and current affairs. Okay, when read the current affairs, try to relate the same with the static GK as well. Okay, fine. So this is the most important thing we need to keep in our mind when it comes to JK. So from now on, we need to give much importance to revision. Whatever we have learned so far, okay, do we remember? Yeah, so we need to start revising. Yeah, we remember, yes, somewhat, I can guess. Let's say, for example, to put it in your perspective, so if you tell me options, I'll say the answer. Okay, fine. So you need to come out of this. If you ask me a question, I'll tell the answer. That is the mindset that we need. Okay, fine. Sir, if you give me options, I can guess it rightly. Okay, so this will not be, actively working out during the exam. So That is why I'm asking you to start your revisions from now on. So which will bring you at a level where if you are asked a question, you will be able to answer. Okay. Worst case, if you look at the options, you'll be able to answer, not the vice versa. Okay. So that's for the GK and current affairs. Let me come to the next one. Quantitative techniques, yes, we have discussed, almost in previous sessions, all the strategy classes, like what to do. Yes, whatever we have learned so far, let's say you have practiced with quant, with the topics like percentages, ratios, averages, data interpretations, and somewhat we discussed on simple test and component test as well. Okay, and mensurations. Yeah, we solved the previous year papers which had this areas, these kind of questions. So we have some idea about how the questions will be, how we can apply the concepts, right? So as we discussed, you should do what exactly? You should take a particular set. There are 2 sets or maybe 3 sets, okay, but our ultimate aim should be what? I have to go through everything. Read the first set. What is the data given? Okay, with my understanding about the given data, let me directly go to the questions and check whether am I able to enter any equations without even solving completely, without even decoding it. Fine. Okay, so now first question. Okay, one question I'm able to answer. Okay, done. Let me go to the second set. Go to the second set, do the same thing, repeat the same thing, try to understand what is given. Okay, I got some idea. Let me go to the questions and check whether I'm able to attempt any equations without even solving. If that is a third set, let's try that as well. Fine. So now I'm very sure that with the given data, I got some answers. 2 to 3 questions, right? Okay. Now look at the time. Okay, I spent only 3 to 4 minutes, which means I can spend more 10 minutes. 7 to 10 minutes, let's say. Okay. Then I can pick up a particular set, which was so easy, right? Because you have seen all 3 sets, you got some idea. Now it will be easy for you to choose which you can definitely get score. Choose that particular section if you have time and attempt all questions there, which means you're making sure to get around 4 to 6 marks definitely in this section called quant, which most of them will not be able to do it. Even now, if you go and check the percentile, okay, check the percentile for quant. If you get 0 in quant, it shows 50%, which means the students of career launcher who are preparing for CLAT, are hesitant to take this particular section. So how many are not taking? 50% of them are not taking, who are preparing for this exam. Think about others then. I already told you 50,000 people are writing this exam. Only 10,000 people, okay, what? Will be passionate about it. Will be passionate about getting into NLUs, writing CLAT. Out of this 10,000, let's say 5 to 6,000 only will be focused. Will be focused completely into this without any distractions. Fine. And in this 5 to 6,000, how many do you think will focus on math? Yeah, 50%. Yes. So it is for us to beat the competition. This section will be a key. And with the right way to approach it, we are making sure to get this 4 to 6 marks in this section. Okay, right? So that's about this particular section. So let me take you to the next one. A very common question that most of you would have in your mind, maybe this no one asked me, but still, this is something most commonly I can see people ask, at this time, till when to take mocks? Sir, there are 7 days left. So can I take a mock each and every day, or 2 mocks in a day, or 3 mocks in a day? Yeah, because current affairs I have practiced for many months. I know current affairs. Okay, math also I am having some good idea. So I did not practice, with these kind of things, and also I have plenty of time left. So I'll take 2 or 3 mocks in a particular day. See, it is up to you. It is up to you. You can decide. Okay, if you are not going to get exhausted, if you are okay with that, okay, fine. So if you know, you will not get demotivated by looking at your score successively. In a particular day, you're looking 2 to 3 times your score, how much you're getting, right? So it will definitely vary depending upon the level of the paper. So it will not be consistent. So you should be prepared for that. And if you're not, fine. So you should not do it. So if you ask me, from now on, 2 to 3 healthy mocks. What is healthy mocks or healthy mock test taking? Which means you should do it effectively, being healthy, right? So which means it will be effective. So 2 to 3 mocks. From now on, you can take 2 to 3 mocks. Okay, not in a single day, totally. Okay, 2 to 3 months is what you have to take and analyze. Yeah. Okay. And as I told you, you can experiment a few more things at the last moment and see whether it is working out for you. Okay, that you can do in the remaining mocks that you left, 2 to 3 mocks. And as far as our scheduled mocks, you have one on Sunday and one on Tuesday, I think, right? So 20, what is that? 26th and 28th. These two are the scheduled mocks left. So if you ask me, that is more than enough. Right? On Sunday, you can come directly here and you can take the offline paper. Okay. Tuesday exam is only an online exam. So you can take a printout of that. It's available. So you can take a printout and even you can take that offline and practice. Okay. So don't worry about the score that you're getting, but worry about the learnings. Look at the mistakes that you commit. Okay. And make sure not to repeat it. Okay. So if you ask me, you need to stop it before the mid of the next week, which is Wednesday. Before that, you can stop taking the mocks. For the remaining days, you need to spend on revising whatever you know. Okay, take the previous year mocks and just observe that how you have taken the mocks so far, and what are the places you need to focus more. What are the places you need to improve your accuracy? What are the places you're committing more mistakes and how to avoid it? Think about these kind of things. Okay, that is what you need to focus and think about. Let's come to the next two very, very, very significant point. Sir, can I improve my English? Yes, we have been discussing about many points so far. Keeping all this in mind, okay, if you are start working from now, okay, understanding about the previous marks, the முழுசா கேட்கணும். நடுவுல கேட்டா அப்படிதான் இருக்கும். இடையில எங்கேயோ போயிட்டு இங்க வந்தீங்கன்னா okay. So from the previous marks, what are the learnings that we got so far? Okay, fine. And a few more marks that we are going to take in the future. What am I going to get as a learning from that? Okay, so keeping all this in mind, okay, when you prepare your mind for that, yes, definitely there is a chance for you to improve your marks. And apart from that, keeping yourself calm, ready for the exam. Okay, so at the time of the exam, if you panic a lot, then again, that is going to be a big deal for you to manage. Fine. So prepare yourself from now on. Okay, from now on, you have to prepare. Okay, Sunday afternoon 2 p.m. is the CLAT exam. I know it. And what is one of the pattern? 120 questions. I know it. What is the maximum marks? 120 questions. I know it. Is there a negative mark? Yes, negative mark 0.25. If I mark incorrectly, I'm losing 0.25. Okay, how is the exam happening? By OMR sheet, paper based. So I will fill it. These basic details keep repeating to yourself. But do you know what exactly will be asked in the exam? That we don't know. That happens in all the exams. We don't know. On the CLAT day? No need, no need. You can, on the CLAT day, you can directly come to the exam center, right? So I think for the people who have given selected Coimbatore as your test center, you would have got Kadir College in Ilambur, right? So you can directly come to the center. Maybe I'll be also present there. We can meet up, go together into the exam hall. Okay, fine. So I call you. Okay. So if you raise this question to me, yes, it's possible. Fine. So ultimately, the learnings that we take with us, along with our open mindset, okay, will definitely make us to improve our scores from what we are right now. Okay. Next point is what to do in 7 days. What to do in 7 days left. Yes, that's okay. Study, eat and sleep. So see, as far as you fit study, okay, between the eat and sleep, I'm very happy. Fine. Okay. So there is not only eating and sleeping. Okay. Instead you are telling me study, eat and sleep, then I'm very happy. Yes, that's the very, very healthy way of learning, I would say. Okay, because you need to be energetic. Fine. And at the same time, you need to be serious a little bit about the CLAT examination is going to happen in a very few days, right? So what to do exactly in these 7 days? Stop learning anything new. Sure, I'm done with percentage. I'm done with ratios. Average is left, sir. You told average. Now is not the time. Now is not the time. So stop learning anything new. That's what, unless and otherwise, as I told you, if you have anything planned already in current affairs, just go ahead and read those things. Apart from that, nothing new. No learning new concepts in math. No, doing something new in your mock test and doing. Okay, fine. So, stop anything new. Already I told one thing to stop. Stop learning, reading from various sources, listening strategies from various sources. Please stop that. Okay, last time, they can distract you in many ways. Okay, and for example, the use of this particular pen, it's called friction. Okay, fine. If you use that friction, it will look like a ballpoint pen. Okay, you can mark it and you can erase it as well. Fine, but you can't use that pen, okay, in such an exam like CLAT because it is based on OMR sheet and they will be scanning these OMR sheets. So if you mark option A, you erase option A and you mark option B now, when this is left inside the scanner, okay, a light is going to pass through it and the ink that erased, whatever the liquid that erased this ink, it was a chemical, right? So which means it will stay there, okay? So when the light passes, so it will be detected as what? Double marking. And if you have gone through the admit card, they have clearly given, if you mark two options, yes, it will be considered as wrong and they will deduce or detect mark. Okay, they will detect 0.25 marks. Mm. Mm. And I think option C says right here. So instead of getting they will make a mark as some marks. That's what you do, right? You can't do that right now. Let's say, for example, you have A, B, C, D. Okay. Now you have marked option B, right? Later you realize, you go to next question. In next question, you can see that something is referential from the passage, but which is contradicting to the previous question. Now you realize that, oh my God, the answer is not option B, it is option C. Right. Now, what we would have thought earlier is, okay, to avoid this negative mark, let me shade one more circle. Okay, so that this will be marked as, this will be detected by a scan as what? No attempt. And 0 marks will be detected. But right now, they have clearly mentioned the admit card itself. If you do double marking, this is called as double marking, marking two options. This will be considered as wrong attempt. If it is wrong attempt, that means they will detect 0.25 marks. So we can't do that. So we can't do that. So see, whatever the strategies we come up with, yeah, they also understand students, so they also come up with such strategies. Okay, fine. So if it is a multiple choice question, offline paper, people are discussing options like A, B, C, D. Okay, then I'll give you 2 sets of papers, jumbled questions, overcoming the challenge. Okay, fine. So when it is OMR sheet, you do strategically to avoid negative marks. Then I put double marking as wrong attempts. So I'll detect marks. So they also come up with such strategies. So we have to be careful enough to go through all the instructions given in the admit card and accordingly act during the exam. Okay. And the second important thing is to foresee what you're going to do for the remaining days. Foresee what you're going to do for the remaining days. So prepare a small plan. Okay. So this is my already what I'm doing is this. So next 7 days, should I continue or should I change my study plan accordingly for the remaining days left? So you need to prepare the study plan and stick to the study plan. That is so important. Okay. Preparing a study plan is okay. You will do sit and do on a particular day, but are you following it? That matters a lot. Next, very, very, very important point. Focus at your strength. Take up the areas where you're scoring well. Take up the areas where you're doing well. Okay, practice more there. let's say, for example, so legal reasoning is my forte. I'm able to, get almost everything right. Almost everything right. Yes, I attempt around 25 questions and I get like 20, 22 questions right. Okay, now how can I make this 23 out of 25, 24 out of 25? 24 rights out of 25 attempts. Okay, so that is how, because we know each and every 0.25 marks count here, right? So take up your strength, okay, strength areas, strong areas, and work on them again and again to make yourself more comfortable with those areas. Okay, so I told you already a couple of weeks back, right? Like 15 days left. At that time, also I told you from now on to do what? Yes, focus on the areas where you're strong. Okay, because ultimately we have been practicing in what way? Whatever areas we are lacking, we need to practice more there. So from now on, whatever areas we are strong enough, we have to put some more efforts there and make ourselves very, very, very comfortable in those areas. Okay, that is the point. And then yes, one more thing is revise and relax. Okay, don't stress yourself, don't exhaust yourself too much. Yes, the exam is going to happen, in just a week. Okay, yes, there are going to be around 50,000 people writing this exam in just a week. Okay, so don't pressure yourself. Whatever you know, you know. Whatever you don't know, you don't know. Just accept these kind of things, remember these kind of points, and just go with the flow. That's it, right? So these are the points that we should definitely do. Now, few points that we should remember, because I have not covered not to do. So along with the not to do, there are certain things you should also keep in our mind definitely. So let's go to those points now, right? So keep calm and follow these things that we should definitely follow. No predetermined mindset. So from now on, keep an open mind even while writing the mock test and practice. Okay, fine. So sit in front of the mock paper. Okay, and for 10 to 15 seconds, think. Okay, I have invested so much effort, so much time in my preparation. Okay, so whatever is inside, and I don't know what is exactly given in the question paper, but let me just give it a try. Okay, and start taking the paper, because the same thing is what I advise you to do in the actual CLAT as well. Okay. Hmm? Calm yourself, because see, that is the time when you get the newspaper. Oh my God, my life is in front of me. Yes, yeah, my career is in my hand. Okay, that is the moment you need to master. At that moment, if you go blank, okay, fine. So to avoid that only, I'm telling, yes, give me the question paper, keep it. Now think about this point. Right, months and months I have taken mock tests, I have wasted time, I have used time, I have utilized time, done everything. Okay, this moment, what am I going to do? Whatever is there, if I know, I'll attempt. If I don't know, I'll leave it to the last. If I still don't know, I will leave it. Okay, that's what we need to think. Okay, so I'm telling again, make it again a practice. The remaining 2 to 3 months that you're going to take, also do the same thing. Practice yourself, prep your mind. I'm coming to that point only. Prep your mind what we are going to do on that particular day. Okay. So the next point is this. I told you already. Okay. Read, understand, and then go to the questions. Go at your pace. Go at your pace. By now, okay, whatever your reading speed is, along with comprehension, that is right. You cannot improve it here on. Okay, fine. Drastically, you're not going to be able to improve it. So read, understand, and ask the questions. Don't rush, because when you rush, what happens is you miss the significant important points given there. Okay, fine. And if you miss that, when you go to the questions, you will come back to the passage. You come back to the passage. Simple. And what happens? Will you go as planned? No. Will you be able to manage time? No. So we need to read, understand, go at our pace and without rushing. Fine. Let's go to the next one. Yes, pause and think about meaning of passages. Yes, please. If you completely don't understand the passage, Okay, let's say for example, I'm reading a passage. Okay, first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph. I don't understand. Is there any use in going to the questions now? No. Go to the next passage. Let me come back to the passage. Let me come back to the passage. Yes. Let me come revisit this passage.
If I understand any of the anything in the passage, but when I read the question they have meaning.
Very good. See, I'll tell you what will happen. Okay. At this point of view, at this point of time, fine. So when you read the passage, you don't understand, and you go to the questions, that is when you start using the extra knowledge. Sometimes, அது வாய்ப்பில் all questions read சொல்லவே முடியாது. Yes. Few questions. That's what. Few questions and reading comprehension, maybe, yes, that will help you. Okay. With your common sense, you will be able to answer a few questions. One or two, not more than that. Fine. But in general, if you are not able to understand the passage, you will not be able to select answers for inference questions. You will not be able to answer for cannot be inferred questions, central idea or theme of the passage, conclusions, tone, almost everything is covered in English. Fine. So without knowing the passage well, we cannot answer the questions. So if you are facing a trouble, like maybe at that moment with something in your mind going on, you read the passage, you are not able to understand, don't read it and waste time at that moment, because if you read continuously, once again, at that moment itself, you're not going to understand again. So let's not waste the time there. Go to the next passage. Okay. Start from there. Got it? Anything else? Okay, fine. So now coming back to this point, pause and think about the meaning of the passage. I told you many times, when it is a passage, when it is a lengthy passage, okay, you might get what you might forget what exactly was given in the first paragraph, second paragraph. Yes, you need to understand what is given in each and every paragraph. So paragraph wise understanding will give you a very good understanding of the entire passage. First para, what does the first para speaks about? If you can remember well, you can remember it. If you know that, because you have taken too many marks. So if you know that, you'll forget, write down like a side heading. Okay, what is the theme of the first paragraph? Yes. Nothing. Okay, so you can write in the question paper and give. You can write in the question paper. Okay, that's fine. Right. So unless and otherwise someone is so strict to you, okay, and they're telling you not to read. Well, it depends. It depends upon the invigilator. Okay. So but typically what happens is we can mark something in the question paper. Fine. So what I'm telling you, okay, for the first paragraph, understand what is given and make a small, statement there. Okay, the first para, okay, this is what is about. Second para, what is it about? Third, what is it about? Fourth, what is it about? Fine. Now, when you go to the questions, you can easily remember, okay, what was there in each and every paragraph throughout the passage. And if you look at all these side headings that you have written, you will get the idea of the entire passage. It will help you to understand what is the answer for the questions like central idea, theme of the passage. And it will also help you to eliminate the options, whichever is not bound to these kind of subtopics, subheadings that you have written, the themes that you have written. Okay, whichever options are not relevant to this, you can eliminate those options. I did not English. Nothing is big. Anyway, you're going to read it. What I'm telling you is not just read. Along with reading, try to understand. You're going to read the first paragraph. I'm telling instantly when you read the first paragraph, write something there. This writing is what going to take 4-5 seconds, 10 seconds. 4 paragraphs, 40 seconds. Done. So this is not going to reflect a lot. Okay, instead, if you invest this 40 seconds while understanding the passage, okay, you can overcome the time that you spend with the questions. You're avoiding confusions. Yeah, you're avoiding those time. That's what we didn't understand. And still, if you are confused with two options, if still you're confused with some options, okay. See, if you're confused with the options, you need to be the decision maker there. Okay, do I need to read the passage entirely to answer this question? Or can I leave this question right now? Can I move on to the next question? Because that is time. Okay, let me attempt the next question. Next question. Okay, whether I'm able to answer it without registering the passage. Okay, so once I answer all the questions, if it is really needed for me to attend the question I left, then I'll go instantly. Okay, or otherwise, let me come back to this passage if I have time at the end. Okay, so that is what we need to understand. You should let go of your ego. Okay, I have read this passage completely. I must attempt all 5 questions under this. அது எப்படி நான் 5 நிமிஷம் படிச்சிருக்கேன் இந்த கொஸ்டின் இந்த பேசேஜ அது எப்படி I will not know the answer for this question. So you should let go of this ego.
And you can't answer anything.
You can't answer anything. Then you are not at the passage clear itself. That's all. No, see the way you framing questions, that is also not sensible. That's why I'm asking you in this way. Because if you read the passage, if you think that you clear the passage, you should be able to answer anything at all out of 5 questions or 6 questions which are there, behind the passage, right? If you're not able to attend anything, which means still I'll tell you, okay, you did not attend anything, go to the next passage. Go ahead. There is no sense in going back to the passage again if you're not able to answer all 5 to 6 questions. Okay, you should not go back. Okay, go to the next passage and remember what happened in the previous passage, please. Because you got distracted or you did something, because of that reason only, you are not able to answer all 5 questions. So this time, please make sure you pay complete attention to the passage, understand what is known in the passage. Definitely you'll be able to answer the questions. Fine. So this is the point I want to emphasize more. Okay. Spend more, in understanding the passage, not just reading the passage. Reading, yes, everyone can do the reading part, but only if you understand the passage, you'll be able to answer the questions. Okay, difficult questions, skip and revisit later. That was the point I was covering already, right? So if there are 5 questions under a passage, it is not mandatory for you to attend all 5 questions. If you find anything difficult, okay, so skip that question and you can revisit that later. And that will be a very, very, very simple passage. Let's say a narration is given. A small narration from a storybook is taken and given for you. It's very simple, easy, and interesting. Okay, and this will be a time killer for you if you think that I need to attend all 5 questions. Let it be easy. Let it be an easy passage. Let the questions be easy. If I find something as confusing to me, what I should do? Leave it. Let me come back later, because at this moment my mind is not working to answer this question. Let me go to the next passage. Let me come back if I have time. Done.
Yeah.
You need to decide whether I have to proceed to the last 10 to 15 minutes, okay, with the questions that I'm not attempted or not gone through, or should I go to the place where I learned already, have some idea, to read one more time and answer those questions rightly. Okay, so you need to decide. Okay, but according to me, if you ask me, you should have went through definitely the passages and questions there, everything. நீங்க படிச்சிருக்கணும், ஒரு டைம் ஆச்சு இருக்கிற எல்லாத்தையும் பார்த்துருக்கணும், படிச்சிருக்கணும். At least something basic idea should be there for you, what is given throughout the paper. Because later எக்ஸாம் முடிச்சுட்டு வந்து ஒரு பேசேஜ் எடுத்து பார்த்து, இல்ல உங்க ஃப்ரெண்ட் வந்து இந்த பேசேஜ் பார்த்தியா, இது ரொம்ப ஈஸியா இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னு சொல்றப்போ, you should not regret. ஐயோ, நான் இதை பார்க்கவே இல்லை, இதை படிக்கவே இல்லை.
There are various topics, there are certain topics in how in the paradise I do not feel comfortable and interesting. So because of that, I was that. But if I asked it easy, should I go to it and attempt it or something?
You're again asking me to go through the passage once again.
It's easy.
Passage is easy.
Sort of interest. I will not able to comprehend easily.
Okay.
So, when you think the question, might be that.
See, I don't understand. Why do you think the topic must be interesting in an examination?
Interesting. Like technology and science, I will not be able to comprehend easily. Yes.
So comprehend easily. That's the problem. You're not able to comprehend the passage easily. So you're asking me, should I go to the questions? Skip that passage. Yes, definitely. I would advise, if you're not able to comprehend properly, okay, skip the passage and go to the next passage.
Because
Yeah, because at the end, same thing. At the end, you are wasting a lot of time here rereading, and if you are leaving some passage or questions that are so easy, okay, later we should not regret. Fine. See, that time management is what I'm telling you. Okay, wherever the extra time that we are going to spend, okay, we need to think whether will it worth it. Later, we should not regret. Okay, fine. And there are certain things, let's say, for example, the question is asking like, how much percentage was mentioned, so things. And for this, you know that if you get back to the passage, some line that you have underlined or highlighted, or you know there are only some places in the passage we can see numbers. So if you know that, okay, if I go to this particular paragraph, I'll get my answer. Okay, I'll get the exact answer. Then you can go to the passage. Nothing is wrong in that. But for each and every question, if you want to go to the passage, then it doesn't make sense. Okay, fine. Then what did you do while reading the passage? You have not read clearly then. Right. That is why I'm asking you to do this process. Paragraph-wise understanding will help you easily to understand and also to focus in which paragraph your right answer is. Okay. Or your answer is not there. That will help you. Next, remember our OMR rule. So what did we discuss in filling the OMS? Not question by question. Because if we go question by question, there can be a big possibility. If you go to the next question, you might feel, oh my God, the previous answer that I gave was wrong. So, yeah, you need to fill after each and every passage. You read a passage, section, passage is much better. Okay. See, in what point of view I am telling this, I'll tell this as well. I think I have told this already. I'll repeat it again, not an issue. See, I am thinking about only this scenario. I have not filled my OMR. I am taking entirely to the last. Now, what about my pressure? If I have only 1 minute or 2 minutes left, I have to fill 120 questions in OMR. I need to manage this. So think about what speed I will be marking everything and what probability of mistakes I can do. What chance of commission of mistakes I can do in filling the OMR. Okay, because I have to fill 120. If you tell me 25 to 30 questions I have to fill at the end, because there is only one section which I have not filled. So it's the same thing. Last 1 to 2 minutes left, you need to fill 25 to 30 questions. And what I am telling you is in last 1 to 2 minutes, you are left with only 5 questions, or you know only 4 questions there. 5 to 4 questions, 3 questions, whatever you know. Okay, at the last 1 to 2 minutes. So which one is better? Less number of questions. That is why I am advising you, once you're done with the passage, you are confident with all 4 or 3 or 2 or 5 answers. Not all 5. I'm telling you, under this passage, you know exactly 2 answers or 3 answers or 4 answers or all 5. Then you mark it in the OMR. At this time, you have, clarity to check the question number, mark it. Last minute, you will not have the clarity. Time is running. Question number is correct? We will not be having this much clarity. We will not be focused like this. So when you do instantly after each and every passage, you will be clear on what you're doing. Because that last minute pressure is not there. So that is why, my suggestion is, then section-wise time, please have a section-wise, time. Okay, so let's say, for example, in English, you spend 30 minutes, you plan for 30 minutes, stop at 30 minutes. Yes, even if you're not completely, if you're not completely read, okay, fine, the passages, fine. So you have to stop right there. Then next section. Whatever time you fix for the next section, stop right there, next section.
Reading. How many attempts is good for it? Not is that a good? Yeah, good.
Can you repeat how out of
80 questions.
out of 80 in the reading section? How many can you leave? Like 4 to 5 questions you can leave. Let's say, only if you are leaving is 4 to 5 questions, your attempts is what? 75 out of 80. Let's say 5 questions you are leaving. Your attempts is 75 out of 80. With some decent accuracy, you can get 60 plus, 65 plus from it. 60 plus, let's say 60 plus. Okay, from whatever you have attempted. Like 4 to 5 questions you can skip. Fine. But you can ask me, sir, you're telling me to give only 30 minutes. Okay. I'll not be able to go through all the passages because I know right now my reading speed is a little less. If your reading speed is good, okay, you'll be able to go through all the passages in the 30 minutes that we have planned. If let's say on that day particularly it was lengthy and the time was not sufficient to us. Okay, what to do? Which means you have to reserve last 5 to 10 minutes. You need to reserve time. Which means, see, that's what I'm telling you, that the strategy you should decide on that day. Once you look at the time that you're spending, like 30 minutes for English, and it is not sufficient to read one more passage, it's completely left out. Immediately, the time that you have given for the remaining sections, I have to reduce GK and current affairs from 10 minutes to 8 minutes, 2 minutes, take it. I have prepared for 35 minutes or 40 minutes for legal reasoning, reduce it with 35 minutes, reduce it to 35 minutes. Logical reasoning, 40 minutes, reduce it to 30 minutes or 35 minutes. Now get those times and reserve it to the last 5 to 10 minutes. No other way. You need to reserve this to the last. Okay, you have to get this 5 to 10 minutes last. Now revisit. Okay, whichever you have not, not even went through, you have to go to those passages. Okay, you have to go through that at least one passage clearly in the time left. Okay, and what you can do is answer those questions. That is what you can do. But timing is something that we should definitely have. Okay, but this will not be fixed as I'm telling you. If you find that you're not able to read through everything, then you have to manage the time accordingly, reduce the time for each and every section. Okay, fine. So reserve some time and come back to the passage. Come back to the passage. If there are 2 or 3 questions, okay, that you have confused about, fine, that is the risk factor. You can leave it to the last, and there are many small sample of questions. Okay, fine. Then you can gamble also. Fine. If you are confused with 2 options, let's say, if only 2 options, the probability is 50-50. So at that time, yes, you can do a small gambling, but not for all the questions with all 4 options unknown. Okay, we cannot go like that blindly. Okay.
Not the reading, but as a whole, it's like one time good or we can.
Well, this is one time already. See, that's what I told you already. If you are a person who is already able to attend 85 to 90 questions, 85 to 90 questions, target an attempt of more than 100. Okay, if you're able to get 110 attempts, that's very good. Fine. If you're a person who is able to attend like 75 to 80 or 70 to 80 questions, then you have to target a little more. Fine, 90 plus, 95 plus. Okay, fine. So, only if you are planning to attempt 100 plus, fine. Let's say 100 plus questions you attempt, you commit mistakes and lose some 20-25 marks. Okay, then you come back to what? 75 to 80. You're making sure you somewhere land, in the middle level of NLUs. Okay, fine. So if you are maintaining your accuracy, if you're doing good, then you are making sure 100 plus attempts and you're getting 90, 85 plus, 90 plus, top last scores. Okay, top NLUs. இதெல்லாம் மட்டும் கரெக்டா கேளுங்க. Yeah. 90 plus, 95 plus will make you enter into one of the top four national law schools, 3 to 4 national law schools. Yeah. 90 plus to 95 plus, right? That 3, yeah. I'm assuming that's it. My assumption is this. Okay. So if you are able to crack like 90 to 95, maybe you have a very good chance of getting into one of the top. அதுக்கு கீழே அதான் அதுக்கு கீழே let's take the top 3 to 4 national law schools after that. So the அதெல்லாம் we can discuss. You got to know the idea. That's what I'm telling. First ஆரம்பிச்சதே அதான். Okay, think about what you can do. Okay, in the remaining time left. Don't worry about the scores. Because if you are going to worry about the score, you will be worrying about only that for the entire time left. So you will decide, am I going to think about what happened in the past, what happened with the mock test, and am I going to be worried entirely, or am I going to do something about it? You have to invest in your preparation. Okay, invest time in your revisions. Okay, believe in yourself that you have put so much of efforts. Yeah, so you can compare yourself before 1 month, 2 months. Okay, how you were, how you are preparing, with how you are putting efforts and preparing right now. Okay, so is there any difference that you have made recently? Yes. So believe in yourself first of all. Yes. Okay, you are putting so much of efforts. Fine. So this much of efforts that you put in will reflect in some way, right? Yeah. So first, trust yourself. Okay, fine. So don't worry about the result. If you are worried about your result, the result will not be good, as Dhoni said. Fine. So, but that should be a target. Fine. That's what you're asking. You know the target. As I'm telling you, 90 plus. Okay, will make you to land in top national law schools. 80, 85 plus, middle level. Okay, 70 plus. Okay, any one of the law schools. Fine. So this might may vary because in the session that I took earlier, I told 60 plus. 60 plus will make you land into any one of the national law schools, right? 60 to 65. That is the range typically. Fine. 90 plus the top. Okay. So that is what I want you to understand. Fine. Next. Yeah, stick to your mock strategies. The one that I told you. Fine. Which one? If this is how usually I attempt inference questions and I get it right, follow the same. Okay, we know how to approach the questions which is like what cannot be inferred. Do you remember? If there are two options, this will happen definitely in cannot be inferred questions, or what would the author would least likely to agree with, would do not agree with. Okay, there will be two options. One will be completely irrelevant and the other will be contradicting to a point the author said. What should we choose? The point that contradicts to something given in the passage. But the problem is, okay, the one that hits our mind is the irrelevant one. Because once you read the options, okay, the author doesn't speak about this option completely, right? So I need to go with this option. Yes. But if you look at clearly one particular option, the same words they have used from the passage, but one particular word or a couple of words will entirely change the meaning of that option. That is contradicting, and we need to choose that one. So we should not, blindly go and choose our answers. So if we know that we would, fall for a trap in this particular question, okay, we have to be careful. Knowingly, we should not go and fall the trap, right? Okay, yes. The next one is obviously expect the unexpected, because CLAT is all about what? Surprise. Okay, so let's believe that I don't know what is going to happen. So do you remember? I ask you to prepare your mind. I don't know what is going. What are asking CLAT? I don't know. Let's say I don't. Fine. So, but blindly I'm preparing something. I'm believing that okay, this might come. Am I preparing? I'm preparing. So let us put efforts. Let's prepare whatever we know on the day. Let's give it. How can that be? If you prepare so much in current affairs, if you are preparing so much and you are not able to answer anything, I told you at the beginning itself. If you're preparing so much and if you're not able to answer anything, same applies to everyone. Same applies to everyone. right? Because they would have also done what? They would have also used some sources like Manthans. They would also use some sources like YouTube videos to gain some knowledge, current affairs. They would have also got some important topics to be covered. Thing is, let's say a student from Career Launcher having a friend in some other institute will share the topics from his side to the friends, and he is in a different center. He will share topics here. So anyhow, the topics are circulated, and people will cover only these topics. So if you are not able to answer any questions after learning about so many important topics, okay, hundreds and hundreds of events, and if you're not able to answer any questions, then no one is able to will be able to write it. Why are you overthinking? That's the question. The same thing happens for you even in the exams. So what if that happens? What if this happens? What if that happens? Another?
Okay.
That's right. See, we should stop thinking that much. We have to put a limit to ourselves. See, and at the same time, you should trust yourself in what kind of efforts that you put in. And if there is no trust in yourself to believe that you have put so much efforts, I'm telling you, it's a waste of time. Why are you putting so much efforts if you're not able to trust yourself? Does my question make sense? You're investing hours and hours in reading something, preparing something, and tomorrow you get up and say, I have wasted yesterday. No use. I'm not sure whether it will come or not. If you have these three questions within you and you don't trust in yourself that, okay, I have read something, maybe tomorrow, if a passage comes from this, I'm making sure I get 4 marks, 5 marks. That is the kind we need to, of mindset that we have to be at this moment. Okay. So don't think about the negative side of everything. There will be negatives. But when it is, at the place, right in front of us, okay, let's face it at that time. But you are thinking about some extreme cases happening during a particular day, which is the future, and worrying about that now itself. That is the point I'm keep on telling you from the beginning. Okay, you can't decide now what is going to happen a week later. You cannot know at the same time what is, what are the questions that are going to be asked. Same time, you cannot also know. Fine. So please put this into your mind. Okay, think positively. You are putting so much efforts, and there will be something that you can do in the exam. Believe in that one. Don't think that I have learned 100 topics. Okay, what if there is no topics coming? If you start, the entire 7 days is going to be in this way only, and the day of exam will also be negative only, because you started everything with what? A negative attitude. Fine. So try to think positive first of all. I am doing something. I am equipping myself with some knowledge. Try to build up that kind of area, and also you should think about your friends as well. If you start asking certain things like this, the people who hear also will do the same. Oh, she is learning this much and she doubts herself. Then what about me? Huh? So don't be a person who spreads such a negativity. Huh? Okay. Right. So this is from my end, my personal concern for you people for the remaining days left till the exam that you're writing, either it is CLAT or highlight. CLAT means next 1 week, highlight means next 2 weeks. Okay. So please get good sleep of 6 to 8 hours. Okay. Avoid junk foods. Don't eat too much. Don't do binge eating. Okay. And don't do binge eating. Okay. And make yourself uncomfortable being sitting in a restroom. Okay, fine. So avoid eating junk foods, because if you without knowing, let's say for example, you're watching a movie and you are eating some snacks and something, without even realizing, you eat a lot. Okay, so maybe the next day you can find something is happening in your stomach. Okay, not exactly how it works. all days. Fine. So let's avoid that. Fine. Then control being a sweet tooth. Okay, avoid ice creams, chocolates, eating a lot. Okay, fine. Avoid these kind of sweet items, sugar items, because that can easily influence you to cold. Fine. And at this point of time, we can see it's continuously raining. The climate is cold, and at the same time, if you eat such chocolates and ice cream, okay, fine. So even milkshakes, I include everything that way. Okay, so take care of your health. That's ultimately my point. Okay, right. So that's all. We are at the end. So here the next part will be. I got a lot of questions from many people, so we'll start discussing about that. Okay. Meanwhile, if you have any questions also, we can discuss about that. Yeah. Please stop asking stupid questions and negative questions. Okay, fine. See, you think about it. Okay, you need to think about it. Isn't this question too extreme? Okay, so please think about the questions which you are asking me, Ashwin. Okay, but some questions are genuine. I know, because your anxiety is also as high. Okay, even mine is high, because at the end of the day, because
You teach.
no. See, you also have your career depending upon this exam, going into the NLUs. Okay, so even if you think in my perspective, even my business works in this way, right? Okay, so if in one way, I have been traveling with you for months and years. Okay, so if you are going to be successful in your career, in a way, definitely is going to be make me happy. Okay, and the second thing, as a business point of view, coming here, if I am able to bring a very good result, okay, so definitely it is going to be a big name for the brand, right? Okay, because even in this batch, I can say like many people join because of the word of mouth. Okay, fine, and I'm very happy that we got around like 20% success rate, which is not easily possible in many cases. Okay, so it is going to be in a way positive for me as well, not just for you, right? So let me answer the questions. Okay. I got many questions, like 15 to 20 questions. Let's go to that. Before that, let me complete with this point. A very, very, very significant point I want to repeat again. Focus on the war, winning the war. Okay. And not the kill count. So what do you understand from this? What do you understand from this? Focus on winning the war, not to keep a count on the number of kills. So what do you understand?
What if you get through
Okay. So this is specifically about the exam, because the war relates to what? Yeah, since this is the quote made by me, right? So if you look at that. Okay. Hey, I'm so funny. நல்லாதான் எடுக்க சொல்லிட்டு தான் போஸ்ட் கொடுத்துருப்பாங்க. Okay. Let's discuss on what is important right now. Okay. So focus on winning the war, not the kill count. Okay. So the war here, I mean the exam CLAT. Okay. So we need to focus on cracking. We need to focus on cracking the exam, not in attempting all the questions. So here, not the kill count means, okay, attempting all the questions. So don't focus on attempting all the questions. Then you are in the wrong path. Okay, you need to master this exam and win it. We need to crack it. For that, we need to approach strategically. So that is what I'm trying to mean using this. Okay, fine. So that's it. I'm coming to the end of the session. So the last part is Q&A. Okay. So yeah, I got many questions through mail and WhatsApp. I just copy pasted those questions here. Yes. Why? Is there a problem?
Yeah.
because you might also have the same kind of questions in your mind. Okay, so okay, this might open up something in your mind. Okay, so let's go to the questions. I have also not read the question so far. I just copy pasted the slide to bring it in one place. Let's start with the first question: how to maintain or improve accuracy? I think we discussed about this already. How to maintain or improve accuracy? See, keep it simple. That's the key that we should do. Okay, read, understand clearly what is given in the passage, and go to the questions. That is the only thing that we can do. That we can do to maintain whatever the accuracy we got so far, or to improve the accuracy. And one more thing: make use of all the mock tests that you have taken so far. Okay, and observe your behavior. How was how was your performance in each and every section in the mock test? Okay, and the do's and don'ts you understand and apply that will also make you to improve your accuracy. That is the answer for the first question. Let me go to the next one: how to deal with lengthy passage. Again, this is again something we discussed already. How to deal with lengthy passage? Go paragraph wise understanding. Go for paragraph wise understanding. That will make you understand clearly about the passage, and stick to the time, stick to the section wise time. Okay, fine. So even though it is lengthy, number of passages you cover, okay, if really required, you can come back or reserve some time to the end and come back to the passage you are leaving if the passages are lengthy, and that's what you can do. And I don't think the entire paper is going to be lengthy. A particular section or two sections, any two sections could be lengthy, can be. Okay, because I don't know, to be true, it's uncertain, right? Okay, yeah, if a section is particularly length, it's a section only particularly lengthy. Either it can be English, legal mostly, sometimes very rarely logical. Okay, but mostly English, legal, they can be made lengthy. Okay. How to deal with passage of a lot of factual information and data? See, what we do to the other passages, do the same here. Read, understand, and go to the questions. And if really required, if the question is specific to the data mentioned, the numbers mentioned in the passage, then we can revisit the passage. That is how we can deal with that. Okay, but the key is giving enough time to the passage, going at your pace, okay, and understanding. Okay, how to read economic related passage. See, it's simple. I told you already. Start, if you haven't, okay, you can start looking at previous year papers, okay, the mock, where you can find such passages and start working on them. Try to read and understand them. Okay, apart from that, take a simple newspaper like the Hindu and take editorials. If there is an online magazine available also, take the editorials. Look at finance, business, economics, type of passages. Try to read and understand them. Fix a timer even there. Let's say, for example, you can find some 500 words or 600 words, okay, in a particular article there. Okay, fix a timer of 5 minutes. Try to complete it within the 5 minutes. Okay, along with the understanding. Do the same thing. First, if there is a single passage, break down that into paragraphs by yourself and do the same process. Okay, that is a way of practicing with economic related passage. Next, how to deal with lengthy passage if there are a lot of principles. That's in a way, in a way, it is going to be a positive one. If there are many principles, okay, it's easy for you because each and every question are completely going to depend upon these principles. If there are many principles, then you have to be happy. Typically, what happens mostly is they take up some current affairs legal topic and they give you, and they can ask relevant questions, or otherwise they state some principles. They give a scenario example there. Okay, fine. They refer to some case happened in a court. Okay, what happened in that case? Then they frame such or relevant questions. This is what typically happens. So if there are many principles given, okay, then you can make sure if there are many principles, each and every question is going to be based on different principles. Right. So which means you will be able to answer the questions easily by applying those principles. So this will be a positive one. Don't worry. Okay, if the legal is lengthy, you may not worry at all. You will be able to crack it still. Then should we have an in-depth knowledge about legal current affairs? See, again, even here I will eliminate the extremes. Right. So in-depth knowledge, how can we define in-depth knowledge? Yeah. In-depth knowledge means should I know all the cases registered in a particular court? Not possible. Fine. So whatever we can get access to, let's say in Law Entrance YouTube channel, you can find legal updates going on, right? So these are the things that we can get updated, access to. Similarly, there are also few cases, let's say, for example, abrogation of Article 370, verdict in the same-sex marriage. These are all very big topics spoken, right? Okay, so which means we are getting some idea about these topics that are more than enough. Okay, how to eliminate two good and bad options? Why should you eliminate good options? Okay, why should you eliminate good options? So I think I will rephrase this. How to eliminate two bad options? See, typically the bad options are going to be something that is irrelevant to the passage, okay, or something contradicting to the passage. The one that you are going to be confused with two similar options, right? Those should be the good one. So the elimination of two bad options can only be done in this way. Okay. See, okay, let's go to the next question. I don't know how this means. What is the meaning of this? Because with clear understanding of the passage, okay, you cannot go an option. That's ultimately the question: how to deal with strengthening, weakening, or assumption question of economic passage. Again, this is relevant to economic passage. See, how we deal with other passages, the same thing applies even to this passages. Okay, even for these passages, what happens? The same thing applies. Okay, strengthening means there will be some evidence examples provided to prove something, convince something to us through the passage. Strengthening, we need to choose an option that adds, supports, okay, this particular example or evidence. If it is going to be weakening, okay, okay, so if it is weakening, the same way, you are going to have some evidences or conclusion derived from the examples or evidences. Now, you should damage that, right? You should weaken that. You have to choose an option that completely does this, or an assumption to reach a conclusion from the examples given. What can be the bridge? So the process is simple. Fine. If you are giving enough time, going at your pace and reading the passage and understanding it, answering these questions are going to be as simple as answering any other passages. Okay, this is not like something special, right? So it is also a passage. Let's look at in that way. Fine. And still, if you think, sir, this is more and more confusing, I'm not able to answer questions, we already discussed. Leave it for the last. Go to the next. Done. Next, how to deal with logical fallacy and logical corollary equations. People, please believe me, trust me. If you are focusing on the options for these type of questions like logical fallacy and logical corollary questions, okay, it is going to be easy for you, because logical fallacy, if you take, finding faults, it's human nature, we can easily do it. Only thing, we need to read the options carefully, we'll be able to do it. Logical corollary is what? There is a pattern, there is a way in which the argument, the passage is presented, by the author. We need to observe that pattern and look at an option which is also in the same pattern. Okay, try to give some variables. Okay, what is leading to what? What is the cause of this? What is the effect? Try to understand this, what is happening in the passage. Okay, and that will help you easily to determine which option will be the answer for logical corollary. Let's come to the next one. Okay, is basics of ratios, percentages, and averages. If you ask me if basics of ratios, percentages, and averages will be good enough, I don't think so. Fine. If it is ratios, percentage, averages, already we have limited some 20 topics to only 3 to 4 topics, which means we should have some good idea about these topics. Right? Not basic. The basics are not going to be much enough. Maybe for answering a couple of questions, like what we discussed already. Right? When you read the data, there are some questions you can easily answer. Maybe the basic idea. Averages. Solving 2 to 3 cases every day sustainable? Yes. How many ever possible? Okay, but you should not get exhausted yourself. Okay, then is leaving a 5 question advisable? Again, see, the answer to this question is you don't know what is going to be asked in the paper. You don't know whether it is going to be easy or difficult. Without knowing that, we can't decide how many questions I'm going to leave. If the paper is easy, I can try all 10 questions. If the paper is very, 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 very difficult, I can leave all 10 questions. So it depends upon the question paper. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Do they give extra time to fill OMR? Yeah. there is no extra time to fill your OMR. Maybe as I told you, they can give you the OMR earlier. They can ask you to fill the data, like your CLAT applicant ID, find date, these kind of data, basic data. They can give the OMR and ask you to fill the data. Okay, but once the question paper is handed over to you, from then what happens? The time starts for you to fill, and at exactly 4 o'clock, they will collect the paper. So there is no extra time to fill your mark your answers. They might give you extra time for filling the data. Okay. Next, can I skip math? This is again the same thing. I'll repeat the same point I told you. So you can't decide now itself. Don't go with any predetermined thoughts or fixed mindset that I'll be leaving a particular section. Okay, fine. So you read the data, read the question, and then decide whether should I attempt all the questions or leave all the questions or attempt as much as possible. Okay, fine. So these are done. It takes me 6 to 7 minutes. Okay, it takes me 6 to 7 minutes for me to solve either logical or legal. Is it okay? Yes, it's definitely okay. But you should make sure to not spend more time in the questions, because understand the passage, you're investing more time, which means in questions, you should not spend more time. You should not get confused. If there is any confusion, you have to leave immediately and go to the next question. You have to decide like that. Then this is okay, not a problem. Can I gamble 10 to 15 questions since my attempts are less than 90? Again, this is the problem. Okay, fine. So, see, this is a very big question mark when it comes to accuracy. Sir, I have attempted 90 questions. Okay, I'll get almost 85. Fine. Then can I gamble 10 to 15 questions? Maybe. Because if you lose 10 marks also, what will happen? Because you want to still get what? 75 plus, you're going to land at any one of the NLU. But if you are thinking that, sir, I'm having 90 marks, I'm going to get around 80, I'm very sure about it, I'm having a very good accuracy, and I need top colleges, which, with which I can enter into this, 80 marks. Okay, and still, can I make this gambling? No. Fine. But these 10 questions, if you ask me, let's say 10 questions, for example, a small sample, if you take not more than that, 10 questions, let's say, I have attempted like 90 to 100 questions. So there are some 10 questions. But these 10 questions specifically, I am confused only between what? Two options. There are some 10 questions where I got confused only with two options, but I'm very sure one among them are right. One among them are right. But only two options. Now what we can do? We can gamble for this small sample. But what is the major factor we have to think about? Probability. Probability is 50%. Two options are left out. You are very sure that one between them is the answer. Okay, then you can gamble. Otherwise, you can't gamble and you cannot succeed. Okay, remember this. Next. Only a few days left and I'm really terrified. Yes, everybody. So there should be a small fear in you. Only then you will be serious about it. Okay, but don't get yourself, a lot of anxiety. You don't get yourself into a lot of anxiety. Okay, by thinking a lot. Fine. Okay, so try to ask so many positive questions to you. Don't ask so many negative questions to yourself. Okay, and also make yourself available, in a friend zone where everybody is staying positive. Okay, fine. So try to think positively. Fine. So in that way, we can overcome any kind of negative thoughts or anxiety. Fine. So to be terrified, not to be at the extreme level, yes, but small fear is required for us to be serious as well for the remaining days. Then should I study till the day before exam? Not required exactly. If you ask me till Friday, then see that I told you that's my exact ideology of taking a session like this today, like Friday to Friday, exactly 7 days. Saturday, take a break and relax. Sunday, you can go to the exam. Okay. I joined recently for coaching and many things are new. Can I crack it? Yes. Yes, it is possible. Okay, so think about there are number of people who don't even go for coaching and still they are coming and ready the exam. Okay, so think about their confidence level. Okay, and now you are at least coming to know about some things, few strategies. You're trying to practice with some mocks and you got some idea. So think about how much your confidence should be, right? And if you ask me if you will be able to crack it, definitely. Then which section to start with? it depends upon you. You can start with anything you're comfortable with. Okay. Shall I take mock each day or focus on revision? This also we discussed. Okay. So if you ask me, 2 to 3 marks for the remaining 7 days left is more than enough. Okay. So spend time wisely. Take these 2 to 3 marks left and do what? Analyze well, and in the remaining time you can revise a lot. So that is what you can do. And what pen should I use? Of course, it's mentioned in the admit card. You need to use ballpoint pen. So according to me, what you can do, you can take either a blue pen or a black pen. Take the same colored pen, 2 or 3 along with you. And also, when you buy these pens, okay, write at least for a minute or so and make sure it's writing. புதுசா வாங்கிட்டு அப்படியே போயிட்டு கடைசியாக எழுதணும்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, waste. So you're buying some new pen, okay? So write it at least some 2 to 3 lines and check whether it is writing okay. You're comfortable in using the pen, okay? Have a 2 or 3 same kind of pen, blue or black, also the same brand or something, because so that even the ink color doesn't change. Okay, so these were the doubts, posted to me through mail and WhatsApp. So is there anything else you have as a doubt, people? And typically this is not the last time that we are going to meet, right? So we'll be meeting again before next Friday, after a week. Next Friday evening, let's meet again for not exactly in the last minute. What are, let's have a huh? Okay, so we can just check. We can do a checklist of what are things you need to be prepared with before going to the exam. Okay, so we can meet again, and even after that, after the exams, once the scorecards are out, okay, your ranks are out, we can discuss over like what are the colleges that we can expect if you are going to apply for the counseling. Okay, so we will be continuously in touch. Fine. And whatever you get in NLUs, if you're not comfortable, then we are going to plan for something else in the future, like symbiosis or reminders. Right? So that's later part. But anyhow, we are going to be in touch for so long, because even if you are getting, into top 1,000, 2,000 and getting in one of the NLUs, you need to know how to approach, how to apply for counseling, what will be the process and all. So anyways, we are going to keep in touch only. And more than that, if you are in Coimbatore during the exam day, I am also going to be with you, right? So we will be with you throughout, right? So is there any doubts in the chat? Illogical questions, sure. Yes. Okay. So anything else, people? Any other doubts? Please post your questions. Later, I will not answer any questions, any doubts. Yes, analog watches are allowed. Admit card படிச்சீங்கன்னா you will get answers to all these questions. Water bottles are allowed. It should be transparent. Watches are allowed. Okay, but they should be analog watches, not smart watches. நீங்க எப்படி ஸ்மார்ட்டா யோசிப்பீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு தெரியாதா? அதனால only analog watches. Okay. Yes, Bhavana, you can attempt the mock papers the following week that you have missed. Yes. Okay. Any other doubts? Nothing else? Ready? Any doubts? No doubts? Okay. So remember more than what I said you. I want you to have a takeaway of what Dhoni said. Okay, fine. So takeaway today is going to be that for you. Okay, what did Dhoni say? Believe in the process. Okay, don't expect or don't think about the result. Fine. Okay, do small steps. Fine, and you will definitely see that will be a reflection in your results. Fine. So let's start thinking in that way. And thank you, people. And for your information, the office is going to be open throughout the week. So as usual, you can come and prepare here. Okay. అవును